The reading that I'm going to do for you today is on maybe a slightly unusual subject, but I think it's something that's really relevant at the moment, given the current world climate and things that are happening, and the fact that people are spending a lot more time alone at home. And so I wanted to do a reading asking if you should get a pet. Yeah, so it's going to be like, should you adopt a pet, and where you choose to adopt that animal from, whether it's a rescue centre, a shelter, or a pet shop, or someone in the local community who has recently had a litter of puppies or kittens, or who's had another animal that's had babies. Is up to you, and then the reading is not going to specify that. So if you want to know more about like where you should get the animal from, then that is something for a different reading, and it's going to be really personal for each individual person. So that would really require, I would suggest, a personalized reading as opposed to like a general reading. But this reading is going to be a generalized reading, and it's going to be for, should I get a pet, a companion, in this time. So for this reading, I have chosen the Animal Tarot cards, which I must admit I'm currently quite in love with. I got them a while ago, and I haven't really had a chance to use them so much, so I'd kind of like pulled a card or two here and there for myself, just for personal readings, and more of like just pulling a card of the day, not actually even doing a full-on reading for myself. And I haven't used them with clients at all. And then I was just drawn to them recently, and I've fallen in love. So I thought this would be the perfect deck for this reading, seeing as we're doing an animal-based reading. So maybe the animals that come up in this reading will also give you a little bit more insight on top of the whether you should get a pet or not. So I shuffle the cards. Put my intention into them. And then loads fell out, so I'm going to then shuffle those. And then I'll put those back into the deck. So we've got two cards. So the first card that we have is the Eight of Summer. So maybe that's not going to help you in terms of what pet you should get, because getting a kangaroo for a pet could be quite tricky, and depending on where you live in the world, nigh on impossible. But if we're looking at this card, well, first of all, it's the 8th of summer, and August is the 8th month of summer, so I think that's quite pertinent. So the card is actually speaking to this month specifically, this card keeps coming into my readings. Sorry, I was just puzzling, and I was thinking, the 8th of summer, that's the 8 of cups. That doesn't look like an 8 of cups card, but it is an 8 of cups card. So this card is the 8 of cups. The 8 of cups typically is in a normal deck, is a card of basically moving on, of leaving everything behind. So the picture in traditional tarot has got a man, and it's someone kind of like more further advanced in their years, yeah. And they basically like packed up their life belongings and they've turned away and they've left all of their wealth, all of their fortune behind, all of their treasure, yeah. So what, like everything that means something to them, these 8 cups, all of the kind of special things that they've accumulated throughout their life, whether that's relationship, whether that's friends, whether that's family, whether that's career, whether that's country. They've left everything behind, and they've just gone with whatever they can fit in their little backpack, and they've kind of like gone off into nature in order to search for the real fortune, which is in the card there is like a space, like a gap. So the cards, the cups are like stacked, so there's 5 on the bottom and then there are 3 above that, and there's a space where the 4th one should be, which would then balance it up as a triangle. And they've gone in search of this missing cup because there's like a hole in their heart, something isn't being fulfilled within them, and so they've realized it's kind of time to move on, time to go in search of that thing which is missing. So in relation to this reading, it could be saying that basically it's like, well, it is time to move on. It's time to try and fill that hole in your heart. And so, getting a companion animal would be a way of moving on, of changing what's going on right now in your life and inviting something new in. And that companion animal could stand for that missing cup. Maybe that missing cup is you want to parent something, you want to mother or father a little animal and take care of it, and invite it into your home and make it a part of your family. And maybe that would give you the peace that you need in order to feel like that you are fulfilled, that your cups are all full, that all of your cups are in place. So on the card it says, you feel that there's more to life than what you're living, so it's time to move on. You may be moving from a situation that isn't good for you, or perhaps you're being drawn to what would make you happy. Either way, you're in control. And looking at the card again, even more relevant about this card is like there's a mummy kangaroo and a baby kangaroo. Yeah, so in this card, it's not just one person leaving everything behind. It's actually a mummy kangaroo and her baby, her little Joey. And so it is kind of saying that yes, getting a companion animal would be a good thing to do for you, and that animal, that companion, can help you to move on, can help you to get through this challenging time that has turned your life upside down, that has changed everything as you knew it. I mean, like, at the moment there are lots of people's lives have changed forever, and they will not go back to the way they were before. You might have lost your job, you might have lost your business, you might have had to move house because you needed to downsize suddenly. You spent a long time in isolation, so you probably haven't been meeting up with friends or family as much as you would ordinarily. Maybe you haven't even been able to do that at all, depending on your personal circumstances. Maybe you're feeling too fearful to go out right now because of health conditions that you have, so you have to take extra care, or because of injury or something. So having a little companion animal could really help you navigate through this time and help you transition into a different space, to help move you forwards, because anything new that you invite into your life is going to move you forwards into a different space. So I would say that this card is definitely saying 2 is better than 1. It's definitely giving you the go-ahead to expand your life, to make it bigger than what it is currently. And moving on doesn't necessarily mean leaving where you're living right now. Moving on just means moving on from this place that you're frozen in. So maybe you're frozen in a place of mourning and grief, of, you know, the things that have been lost recently. Like maybe you're grieving friendships and you're feeling really lonely, or, you know, that the connection to your family, because, you know, you either aren't able to go and see them because of your health or their health, or proximity, because nobody's really able to travel at the moment. So having like a companion animal could really help you to be okay with that, to come to peace with it, and it may help you move into a better space. Also, perhaps if you are living in a space which isn't healthy for you, within a relationship or a relationship structure that isn't healthy for you, maybe this card is saying that, you know, it's time to move away from that now. It's time to move on from that now. It's time to leave it behind you. But you don't have to be alone. You can take someone with you, and that would be your little Joey. So whatever parts of that card speak to you right now, I would say the answer is that yes, getting a companion animal would definitely be a good thing for you to do at this moment in time. And then the second card is another summer card. It's the Princess of Summer. And the Princess of Summer. And the Princess of Summer is similar to the Knight in traditional tarot. So it's the Knight of Cups. And here we have this beautiful deer. Deers are really elegant, graceful, majestic creatures. I love deer. I think they're beautiful creatures. They're almost otherworldly. Like, to me, a deer is like, when I see a deer, it's almost like seeing a unicorn to me. It's that magical and mystical, and like, I'm in awe of deer. So the Princess of Summer is the same as like the Knight of Summer, and the sentiment here is sensitive, kind, open-hearted, and inexperienced. So, and underneath it's saying you can expect to kindle a new relationship, either romantic or close platonic friendship. You may suddenly receive an emotional message from someone or be invited to a social event. So it's kind of like the card is saying that that a new relationship is going to come into your life. This is like in the future, so this is like in the present, and then this is like the kind of like in the future card, and it's further clarification as well. And so that there's the deer is standing on the edge of the water. So the deer has come to the edge of the forest, and she's come to just look out and gaze into the water, survey the landscape, just see what she feels, and to connect to her intuition. And the water is all about our emotions. Yeah, so what's going on inside, and the fish that's jumping out of the water is indicative of our spiritual connection, and the messages that we are receiving from outside of ourselves. Yeah, so like the intuition that we are channeling. So this deer has gone to the edge of this big lake to just to stop and to think and to feel and to ask. So the card is inviting us to do the same thing. Like, yes, a companion animal would be a great thing, and yes, jump straight into it. Like, kangaroos are leaping around all over the place, yeah, so it's like dive straight into it. This is a great idea. This will really help you. It will make you feel happier and more content and fulfilled and whole. And, you know, you're going to be mothering some little creature, and that's always going to be a good thing, especially if you're feeling a little bit fearful or a little bit lonely and isolated. a little bit unsure, a little bit anxious about the future, taking care of something else always helps us on an emotional level, even if it's just a plant. It's really helpful to have a purpose and to feel useful and to feel like we are doing something good for something else. And that's one of the gifts that taking care of an animal does for us. And then, but this card is like, it's almost like the Knight of Cups, hence the Princess of Summer, has a tendency to rush in. Like the Knight of Cups is the Knight of love and romance and relationships and the heart. Like cups are all about the heart. And the Knight is young and slightly foolhardy in this suit. And you know, he's got this idea in his head and he's got this mission that he wants to fulfill. And he just rushes in, maybe a little bit too quickly and maybe a little bit blindly. Yeah, because he is being driven by his heart and not his head. And that's great. Rush in, trust your heart, be driven by it. But, and that's why there's a but with this card. It's saying, but before you do that, because only fools rush in, before you do that, do stop and pause for a moment and contemplate. Is this the right decision for you? And is it the right decision for you right now? Because as the famous slogan goes, which a lot of us grew up with, depending on your age, and maybe I'm showing my age here, but it's like a pet is for life and not just for Christmas. So we can rephrase that and go, a pet is for life and not just for COVID. So is this pet going to fit into your life for the long term, however long they might live? So depending on what kind of animal you get, you know, they could live anywhere between 2.5 years to 20 years. Yeah, so really think about it. And if you decide to get a parrot or a turtle or a tortoise, I mean, that they live long time, so you have to write them into your will so that somebody else can take care of them. They need guardians, because they will outlive you if they have a healthy, happy life. So do think about these things before you rush in. The answer in the cards is definitely yes. It would be a good idea for you to do that. The universe is saying do it. But the universe is also cautioning you to think about it really carefully, and make sure you make the right decision and make sure it's the right decision for right now. Like maybe getting a friend, a companion. Maybe getting a companion is a great idea for you. Yeah. But maybe you're thinking the wrong kind of animal. Maybe you're thinking short term and not long term. So maybe you're like rushing in without researching properly because you just want to have that fluffy little cute thing now. But maybe you need to take more time to think it through seriously and carefully and work out what animal is best suited to my nature, what animal is best suited to my lifestyle and the amount of time and attention I have to share. And what animal is going to travel with me most harmoniously into the future. Like if you get a goldfish, for example, it's not such a big deal because goldfish lifespans don't tend to be that big, and you can travel a goldfish around quite easily, and you're not going to encounter many problems in terms of landlords and no pets because a goldfish is quite innocuous. But if you get yourself a dog or a cat, they live for a long time and they need a lot more love and attention and presence. And you can't travel them so easily. So, you know, if you're moving home, for example, well, maybe they won't be welcome in the new place. And so maybe it'll take you a lot longer to try and find somewhere that's animal friendly to live. Maybe if you want to at some point go abroad, then it's awkward because you have to then factor in how to take that animal with you because you've committed to that animal, you are their parent, you shouldn't be leaving them behind and rehoming them like that. That's not fair on the animal. You have to commit to them long term, because it's a responsibility that you take on when you adopt them into your home. So these are all things to think about. So the reading overall is saying yes, 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 this is a great plan, and the universe supports you in that plan. Yeah, so that's really good. That's encouraging, and that's probably what you wanted to hear if you're here listening to this reading. So I'm glad I haven't upset anyone with the cards that came out, because that's always an option. I mean, that can happen, but just think about it carefully and make sure that you get the right fit for you. Like, if you're looking to start dating a new person, you would kind of interview them first, wouldn't you, before you invited them into your home and said, hey, move in with me and let's live together. You know, you go through a period of I can't think of the word, not internship, but like your trial. You know, there's a trial period with new relationships, and whether it's like, you know, whether you meet that person off a dating app, which is something I know nothing about, because that happened after I left the dating scene, so I have no idea about any of that. But you know, when you're doing those apps, from what I understand about how they work, it's like you're going through and you're looking at people and you're judging them based on what they look like, mostly, I think, which is really sad. And then what you might have in common with them, you know, like, okay, well, are they a similar age to you? What about background? You know, do you have things in common in terms of where you come from culturally? Are you the same? Likes and dislikes, whether they're a vegan or a meat eater, and you know, all of these things come into play, and it's really important that you are compatible with one another, otherwise the relationship isn't going to last. And maybe that this also makes me seem really old-fashioned, because I think a lot of those dating sites are just quick hookups and aren't about long-term relationships. So, but I'm talking about long-term relationships here with animals, and you know, so if you're going to invite a new companion into your home, you need to make sure that you're going to be compatible. So if you're not there very much, then a cat or a dog is probably not a good idea for you, because they're going to get lonely and depressed and restless and probably quite destructive as well. And you want to be giving a beautiful home to whoever you adopt, not a home which they will find to be more like a prison. So, you know, if you're not there very much, then perhaps you need to get an animal that's kind of more independent. And hey, if you work all day, why not get something like a hamster, because they're awake at night. So you know, you would be up at the same time. You would be able to connect with them within their hour time frame. If you like to go to bed early and you only have a small space, maybe don't get a hamster, because they'll keep you up all night. So think about all of these things and do your research, I guess, basically, and then work out what would be the best animal for you. Then take that a little bit further and figure out where would be the best fit as well. Like, where would that animal come from? Would they come from a pet shop, or would they come from a rescue centre or a shelter? You know, maybe there's a place near you where people just dump animals on a regular basis, and you want to go there independently and see who pops up. Or maybe there's like a local Facebook group near you, like where people, you know, list animals that have been found and that need rehoming. Or maybe you could look on a group and see who has you know, who has an animal who has had little babies, who are looking for homes. So really research it and make sure you get like one that fits you. And then, you know, that relationship is more likely to be successful and harmonious. So I hope that was an interesting reading for you. There we go. Don't forget, these are our two cards. if you want to go away and research them in more detail. And I will see you back here next time. Thank you for watching.